Come on, get logged in. Oh, it's Hobby Maker again. How nice. Skip the advert. Good evening, everybody. How lovely to see you on this lovely sunny Monday night. So I can see all the comments on YouTube. So whoop whoop. So hi, Margaret. Hi, Bill. Oh, bless you. Welcome aboard. Jane, Anne, Sue, Margaret, Audrey, Shell, Karen. I forgot your name. Rah, Liz. Say it, tell me again. Nina, Angie, Pauline, Sandra, Paula, Margaret, Carol, and Facebook. Let's see what's happening on Facebook. Just in case by any small miracle I can see the comments. We know I can see them on the app because so I can see you're all in blue. So let me just scroll back. So hi to Edith, Jean, Jackie, Catherine, Caroli, M, Jill, Sandra, Sheila, SJ, Anne, Elvina. So let's see if I can see them on actual Facebook. No, I can't. So it's a good job I can see them on the app. Oh, I can. Whether they carry on like that is another matter. So hi, Debbie, Janice, Margaret, Joe. Right, so Facebook is definitely not loading live comments on my computer. Oh, let me take that off. But I can see you all on the app. So hi, Marie, Pamela, Andreen, Lee, Janice, Margaret. I think that's everybody so far. So at least I can see the comments. Hi, Heather. I can see the comments on my app, which is an absolute bonus. Right, so a little bit of a change tonight. I thought, let's talk about layouts and where to start and where I start, which you might benefit from, you might not, because obviously there's only so much I can show you in a demo, and but it might give you some ideas. It might give you a little insight into how my brain works or doesn't work, depending on what day it is. Hi, Sue, Eileen, Diane, Linda, Amanda, David, Dorinda, Susan, Julie. So at least I can converse with you all now. Back to the tube. Hi, Audrey, Sue, Audrey, Margaret, Karen. Quick question, is there a new release this week? No, 29th. 29th. I have got something new, but I haven't finished mine, so I can't show you. So we'll do it next week. Hi, Georgine, Maureen, Lynn, Karen, Saz, Gillian. It's too quick on the app. Edith, Sally-Ann, Sandra, Brenda. But so at least you know I can see you now. So I am looking on my iPad, which is over here, for Facebook, and I'm looking at YouTube itself for YouTube, because that is showing me the live comments. Yeah, so tonight's a little bit different. Obviously I'm going to do a proper demo, but I wanted to just spend 10 minutes or so just talking to you about layouts and where to start, etc, that kind of thing. I'm just going to plug my other phone in before we start, because my other phone is only at 22%, which will not last me the rest of the night, I can assure you. I've got the right glasses on as well. That's a bit of a bonus. So we're going to do that first. I am using the chalk paint. So I am on Hobby Maker this Wednesday. I've got no idea what time I'm on, but I know I'm on Wednesday. Chrissy will check for me, I'm sure. Hi, Kim. Converse, I know. Christine, Joanne, Di. I'm trying to keep up with you all. So I can't show you because my app's connected to a little stand. My iPad's connected to a little stand, so I can't show you. But all the comments are coming really, really quickly on the side. I wonder if I can make that bigger. No, I can't. Oh, that's a shame. I'll investigate that to see if I can make that bigger. Is it sunny in Norfolk? Martin's my last name, Trudy. Depending on what day. 1 and 4, thank you, Sheila. I'm on at 1 and 4. So on Wednesday, I'm doing a little bit of a chalk paint masterclass. So those of you that have been with me for ages will probably already have the chalk paints and will probably know most of what I'm going to show you. However, I am going to spend the first part of the show showing you different techniques with the paints, and the second part of the show making the actual card from the bits that I use for the techniques. So it's a bit of a double whammy. Definitely want to record even if you've already got the paints. So it's so either watch and learn or record and learn, and then you can watch it again and again and again, which is a really good way for me to. I've wanted to do this since last year, as you know. So it's a really good opportunity for me to spend a little bit of time with the paints, and for those people who haven't got them yet or don't know what they're all about, it's a really good chance for me to spend some time and show you how fabulous they are, and to hopefully convince you to treat yourself. So as ever, most of the chalk paints are out of stock or not enough stock to put on TV. So I've put together a special bundle and some smaller sets like we normally do with sets of 5. It's got, my iPad's just given me lots of lovely icons. Hi Leslie, Susan, Wendy. You're at the caravan. Oh, bless you. It's sunshiny here. So it is. So we'll get cracking. You've been in my shop today. Oh, bless you. Oh, Beverly, bless you. Is it the first time you've been? Hi, Hazy Babe. How you doing, Hazy Babe? Not got any of the paints. Right, Carol, you definitely need to watch on Wednesday then. Because they're just, it's one of the best things. I say it all the time. It's one of the best things I've ever done. These are the colours that are going on TV. So I have got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. I've got 20 for TV. So it's a really good way. Look at that. It's a really good way to get started and get yourself a little bundle with all these gorgeous colours in. Look at that. Right, so first things first, I'm going to draw breath. Oh, there's always one. I'm going to draw breath, I'm going to get a drink, and then I'm going to start talking about layouts and where to start and what I start with and how my brain operates. Now, we're all very different, as we know. We've all got our own style of crafting and making cards, clean and simple, over the top, like I do. So lots of different. Oh, well done. The storage. Yeah, the storage is. It's flying already. There's another new storage next week. I've actually got mine here, but I've not painted it yet, so I can't show you. Anyway, so let's talk about where to start. So this is obviously going to be my demo, and I'm going to show you a couple of different ways of doing this, because there are no rules with what we do. So card making is very much a personal thing. You might look at my cards and think, oh, that's a bit much, Phil. Or you might look at my cards and think, oh yeah, that's fabulous. That's just how I want to do my cards. But lots of the different styles and how we all craft can cross over. So whether you are I'll show you this one. I'll just grab this one. So whether you are this kind of a crafter, which is typically me, this is one that we did on an online workshop, yeah, which is typically me, which has got lots of embellishments and it's very pretty, or whether you tone that down and make it clean and simple, it doesn't matter, it will work for you. It's the first time you've been, might be a daily. Are you local then, Beverly? The other good thing about the paints, you can do yeah, 100%. Oh, bless you. Hi, Brenda. No, that's not next week. That's being done as we speak. I've tweaked it. Hi, Phil. Can I ask when the next release of... so Nicola on YouTube is asking me about... Oh, hang on. I'm trying... I'm trying to read through lots of comments. I'm going to have RSI with my neck. Oh, this is so funny. But I am glad I can see what you're saying to me on Facebook. Yeah, Sandra says the comments are coming in okay for her on the Facebook app. Now, I don't use the app because obviously I'm on the Facebook website on my computer, but it doesn't matter. I can see what you're saying to me. No, you can't have a sneaky peek of the storage. I will show you next week when mine's all ready. You've not missed anything, Marie. Bless you. Let me just scroll back. First time you've been might be daily. Yeah, so are you local, Beverly? That's what I was asking. And Nicola has just asked me on YouTube when the next release of Beautifully Beaded will be. Okay, so are you paying attention, everybody? So the next and final release of Beautifully Beaded should have been in May. It should have been at the end of May. However, what I was bringing you on the 29th of April, my manufacturers have got a problem with one of their machines, which meant they couldn't do one of the products for my April release in time. So we are bringing Beautifully Beaded Series 3 forward to the 29th of this month. So Beautifully Beaded Series 3 will be on the 29th of this month. It's the final series of Beautifully Beaded, so do not miss out. I will remind you all in due course. Right, let's get started. I'll try and keep up. Carol, I think it's a little bit of a better deal if you go for the bundle on Hobby Maker. So it's a better deal, I think, on Hobby Maker. However, as ever, you can just ring the shop up and do you phone the shop anyway, Carol? You could just ring the shop up and talk to Karen. I'm sure she can match it for you. 5 minutes away. Beverly, that's shocking. We've been there about 5 years. Anyway. So first things first, let's talk about layouts and how to put a card together. So this is very subjective. It's very subjective and it's very much personal preference and how you do it. So I'm going to show you what I was planning for tonight's demo. So it was only when I was planning this that I thought, oh, do you know what? It'd be a good idea. Oh, that's filthy. It'd be a good idea for me to show everybody how I got to where I got to for this card for tonight. So we all craft for different reasons. Sometimes you craft and you make a card because you're making it for somebody, in which case it makes sense to tie in the colours and the products you use to the person that you're sending the card to. Now we all know that I send about 5 cards a year. So my goal, my aim for when I'm crafting is to do something that I enjoy. So that's the main priority for me. It's not even about selling things to you. It's about me enjoying what I'm doing. And I've said that for a long time. The selling comes naturally. I'm just going to zoom that in a little bit. There you go. The selling just comes naturally by me showing you things, how to use them, and by me being genuinely enthusiastic about what I'm showing you and what I'm using. So getting ready for this demo tonight, I knew I wanted to do a square card and I knew I wanted to use the chalk paints, which is why we've got such a lot of white on here. Everything's going to be chalky painted. So square cards, you can literally use the dies. Now, if you've been with me for a while, you will know quite often when I do a release of dies, I will lay the dies out. In fact, I'm just going to grab them to show you. Like when we did, just make sure there's nothing in here you shouldn't see. No, that's good. We're safe. Let's just bring these in. So when I released the layer differently, I remember showing you all how to mix and match the dies and make them work harder for you. And this is why I don't think we've got any diamonds left, so I won't show you that. because it's just cruel. I don't even think we've got any hearts, but I'm going to show you anyway. So before I move on to the actual card, I'm going to show you the dies. So I knew I was going to make a square card, so it starts with the square card. Yeah, I'll just bring one in just to show you. So before you even cut anything, this is a really good way for you to play and to put things together and to see how they're going to work together. So I would use this one as my card base. I would use the next one down for my next layer. And then I would bring in some circles or whatever shape I'm going to play. That's too big. Whatever shape I'm going to use, yeah. So already just looking at that, we've got a square card base. We've got our first matten layer, and then we've got the beginning of our toppers, okay? So this is where it all starts. Where are my rectangles? Here they are. Oh, please don't fall, please don't fall. So this is how I started. Now I already knew that I wanted to use squares, circles and rectangles. So this is kind of the layout I'm going for tonight. So when you get your dies out, look, you can start playing with different layouts and how this is going to look when you put it together. So already, before I actually do any cutting, before I do any cutting at all, I already know that this is going to look really rather fabulous. And if I bring a flower in, let me just bring, oh, can't show you that. Show you that. Let me just bring these in because these are what I've actually used for the demo tonight. So I already know that this is the layout I'm going to do tonight. But as soon as you start building this up, look, so I've not actually cut anything yet. Nothing has been cut. It has, because I've obviously got mine ready. So just use your dies, look. So use your dies and then you can think, oh, do you know what? I don't know whether I like that one. Put that back. Spread them out a little bit. So we've now got our card base, our first matten layer, 2 internal layers with the circles, and then a couple of the rectangles. Yeah, and then obviously you would have your leaves and everything, etc., etc. Do you know what, Joanne? It's not all about buying and spending. It's about enjoying the craft and enjoying what you do. That's what it's all about. There's no point buying all this stuff and not enjoying what you're doing. So this now, look, gives you a little bit of a rough idea of where I'm going with tonight's demo. So if I just cut that all in plain cardstock, which is what I've got on here, I'm going to put these back now, because this is where it starts to get a bit exciting. This is before you even start thinking about products, thinking about what colours you're going to do or anything like that. Remember as well, all my dies, it doesn't matter which range it's from. So if I bring in the heart, look, let's just show you. Let me show you. I wanted to spend 10 minutes doing this. I'm going to bring these back in. So 2 squares, and then we could have changed the circle to the hearts, and then done a heart card instead. So do you see what I mean? You can't really do this wrong. And then bring in the smallest of the rectangles, and that's where your sentiment can go. So you already even know where the sentiment's going to go. Yeah, and this is why I always say to you, the big die sets, yes, they're a considered purchase, but they are worth their weight in gold, because this is a square card. Now wait, watch how that can change when you change it to a rectangle. So let's just put these back. I'm going to put the squares back. I am doing square tonight, but I have also cut a rectangle to show you. So bring in your rectangles, move the squares, bring in the rectangle. So bring in the rectangle, bring in the next rectangle. What have I done to this? That's the problem with roller machines. That's a bit better. You can see these have had some hammer. Bring in your circles again. So this time, because we've obviously got a smaller space in which to work, so the square card gives you a lot more space. However, there is no reason at all that you can't come off the page with your circles. Let me just bring that in a little bit more. So imagine this is your card blank, your first layer, yeah? So we cut the circles, we're coming back in with the 2 rectangles that we were using earlier, and then we're coming back in with the flowers. Remember, at this stage we've not cut any cardstock or anything, so nothing has been cut. And then your little sentiment can go up here, look. So that's 2 different. Let me just try and move that up a bit. I did tell you to remind me to move my camera down and I completely forgot. But you get the gist. You get the gist. So use your dies as a tool, and then you can look at it and think, oh, no, I don't like that. I'm not sure about them. I'm going to take them off and I'm going to change that rectangle to a little floaty heart. And you can do that because we haven't cut anything. Nothing has been cut yet. Nothing has been cut. So you change the layout using your dies, blah blah blah, blah blah blah, and then a completely different layout just by mixing and matching the dies. Yeah. Now, you know me well enough to know that I rarely do this because I already know in my head what I'm doing, which is a bit scary, and Karen will disagree. Karen will disagree. Good evening to everybody who's just joining. Yeah. So this is all before you start cutting, and it's a really good way for you to not waste cardstock, because you can look at something and you can play about with it. Now, I've only used the double pierced dies to show you this. If you start bringing in, let's just find them. If you start bringing in all your other dies, like your Panel Perfection, oops, which is what I'm going to use on the show on Wednesday. Oh, come on, Phil. I'm trying to do too many things. So if you start bringing in your Panel Perfection, we've already changed the look of this card by changing the dies that go on it, yeah? And this is why it never gets boring. So let's just bring this in now and show it you in real life. So I've got two of the largest squares here to make my card blank. So this is going to make my card blank. I never, ever, ever, ever buy card blanks anymore. Ever. Never. If I've got big dies and I can make a card blank from it, that's exactly what I'm going to do. And that's what I'm doing with these. Your A4 nesting dies are not just for matting and layering. Then we've got the next one down. And because I'm using the chalk paints tonight, that I wanted another small border underneath this. So this is why I think we need a set B of the nesting dies. So I've now got my next layer with a tiny, tiny, tiny border, not unlike what we did last week, that I'm going to colour with the chalk paints. And these are my circles. Now this is where it gets marvellous. So these are my 2 circles. So this is effectively like I've just shown you on the dies, okay? Put that there so I don't lose it. I've got my rectangles. Got my rectangles, which I know I'm going to use all 3. I know my flowers are going to go in the bottom left hand corner. This is filthy. I'm going to have to use a lot of paint on this because it's filthy. But then you start playing, look. You start bringing in extras. And this is what we're doing here. So we're bringing in a border die to go underneath there. In fact, I'm going to change that. And I'm going to put it on top of there. I'm going to put it on top of there. But under there. And then my rectangles. But then you look at it and you think, right, I'm not sure about that. So then you start playing with your embossing folders. And you start playing with how it looks. So if I take those off and leave that on, add another layer with the embossing folder, add the circle back in, match that up with the embossing folder, and then start bringing all your extras in. There's so many different ways you can lay a card out. It's mind-blowing. Do you see what I mean? Lots and lots of different ways, yeah? Yeah, lots of ways you can create cards. And this is before we've used any products or anything at all. All I've done so far is cardstock. All my pretties will be added later. But, what if I want a border there and a border here? So I've used the same border, I've chopped it in half. My rectangles are still going to come here. And then my flowers are going to cover the join. So my flowers are going to cover the join. Blah, 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 etc, etc, etc. So before I even do anything with the products, before I even get any paints out, or before I even start doing any actual crafting, I've found a layout that I know I like. And that's when you then have the fun part of choosing which flowers to use, which dyes to use, etc, etc. So, if you were doing that on a rectangle card, now I have cut some rectangles, just to show you, because when you find a layout that you like, I can guarantee you that your layout will work on a rectangular card. So everything from the square card can now be applied to the rectangle card, just like I showed you on the dies. So obviously this would be chopped off, so we've got half a circle showing on there. I've got half a circle showing on there. I'm going to do this in reverse. No, I'll do it the same. Just imagine you can't see that. Yeah. Pop your flowers on. I'm not putting these right, obviously. Pop your foliage on. Blah, 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 blah. It's quite fun, actually. It's quite fun to just play. Pop your foliage on. And then the little rectangle, wherever it is, for your sentiment can go there. Completely different layout, same products. It's marvellous. It's super, super easy as well. Anywho, I've gone on long enough. Let's get on with the card. I hope you found that useful. Because I find that when I'm in a mental block, I find playing with the dies as dies before I even cut anything really easy to work with. Right, look at all this stuff I've got everywhere now. So move all that, move these, and then we're going to get on with the card. So the layout that I showed you earlier using the dies is what we're actually going to make the card from. So if you're watching this on after the live, you can rewind now and go back to where I showed you all the different layers, and then wait till the end and see when it's finished to see how it all comes together. Yeah, it's just a really easy way of using all the products and everything, and making them work harder for you. Oh, right. There you go. Oh, bless you. Yeah, Linda's saying her cards are usually personal to whoever's requested them, and that's exactly how you do it. Hi, Sue. That's exactly how you do it. I mean, I make cards for a living. It's my job, which is why it's more important for me to enjoy what I'm doing rather than making cards specifically for a person or for an event, for example. And I'll tell you, I made my mum's birthday card the other day. Change my glasses. And I spent nearly all day making my mum's birthday card. I can't show you because I've given her the card now. But you might see it on one of the shows. So we're now going to make our card blank using the square dies, and it doesn't matter whether it's a square or the rectangle. For anybody who's watching for the first time, that's not going to work, is it? It's a good job I spotted that. It's a good job I saw that. For anybody who's watching for the first time, the double pierced dies. So if you're making a card blank from the double pierced dies, always make sure the piercing is faced out on the back of your card rather than on the inside, otherwise it'll look shabby from the back, and we don't want that. So score about 1/2 centimetre down. You can use your scoreboards. I tend to just do it with this little ball tool thing I've got here. So score a couple of score lines. Don't fold that. So just leave it as it is. There you go, you can see where I've scored that. Don't fold that back. Glue your card together. And then just pop it to one side and allow it to dry. And allow it to dry naturally. And of course I've got glue where I didn't want to. Of course I have. Then pop the front of your card on. Line them up. Squeeze it down and then just put that to one side. Don't do anything else with it. Just put it to one side and let the glue do its job. So when you start pushing the score line down and squeezing it, that's what makes your card go kinky. So we've now got choices, and obviously I'm using the paints tonight. So the first thing I need to do is choose my colours. Let me just get a drink. Got me on the big telly as you hope is in the States. Oh. I think the comments are coming a bit slow on the app. I've still got a grand caliber, wow. Yeah, they are coming a bit slow on the app, but I think that's just because it's overwhelmed with how many there are. So bringing my paint back. And I'll choose a couple of colours. What did I do last week? What did I do last week on that card last week? We did Dusky Heather. So let's choose a different colour to Dusky Heather. Let's have... Let's have... What's this? Don't want lavender, I want a grey colour. Soft Pewter. Ooh. Soft Pewter and Secret Blush. That's a pretty colour combo, isn't it? Malibu Peach. Soft Pewter and Malibu Peach. Oh, how about all four? That's a nice look, isn't it? That is a very nice look. I don't actually need 4, I just need 2. I'm going to go decisions. I'm going to go with the peach, the Malibu Peach, just because it's a bit stronger for the sake of this demo. And this is Soft Pewter, and I'm going to change that. I actually want a darker grey, Rain Cloud. I've changed it to Rain Cloud. Or should I have that one? That's tough beauty. There's too many choices. That's very pretty as well. Oh! Ignore me while I'm messing with colours. Dove grey is very nice as well, though. No, stick to what I started with. Right, so I have gone for, in the end, finally, we've got Rain Cloud and we have Malibu Peach. I've got no idea which set they're from, but it won't matter. If you've got them all, you're going to get them. You're going to get them all anyway. There is a set of 20 going on the show on Wednesday. So what I've got to decide now is whether I want the embossed piece or not. So just bringing in my card blank. So remember, we've got the card blank, we've got the plain layer, and we've got this layer. So I'm not going to use the embossed piece. We're going to add some stenciling to ours, because you can obviously use your paints through stencils. So if I just find my little craft sheet, I've got a little craft sheet here. And no, I'll do it on kitchen roll, because you told me that the glare from the craft sheets from the lights gets on your nerves. So we'll do it on kitchen roll. Save you having the glare. Oops, what's this? What's that message? Facebook? No bendy plates. I think the comments are a bit slow on the... Oh no, they're not. They've caught up. They've caught up. They've caught up. Whoop whoop. Here we are. And we never would have thought of playing with it that way. Brilliant. Extra sound like... Now, for some reason, the app is grouping together the comments now. So it's giving me a load of YouTube comments, and then it's giving me a load of Facebook ones. But it doesn't matter, at least I can see you. Right, so we are going grey and peach for tonight's demo. And we're going to do my usual thing, which is stippling around the edge of this small border. Now, this is a teeny tiny border. So again, I'm just going to say, those of you that know me well will know that one of my favourite things is attention to detail. It's all about the detail. So you might look at this tiny border and think, oh, it's not worth the effort. But trust me, it is. It's absolutely 100% worth the effort. So we're going to go on with the peach first. I better give these a shake because I've not used them for ages. So we'll just give these a shake. Quick question. No. Hi, Karen. I think the comments are coming slow, but let me just check on the tube. No, it's fine. It's caught up again. What I start with will not always necessarily be what you want in your head at the start. Scallop being bored and then decided to cut it in half and glued it together for double thickness. Yeah, 100%. And that's the whole point. It's crafting should be fluid. It 100% should be. Look at this. You can see I've used a lot of this. Malibu Peach. Wow. Oops. Wow. Right. So let's see if I've got a clean sponge. We are going to stipple this. And you don't really need a lot. So we're just going to stipple around the edges. And I am not trying to fill the whole thing in. Remember, we're only going to see a couple of millimetres of this. And you notice it more when the card is put together, because it's against a white background. Now I've got lots of little things prepped for the demos on Wednesday on TV. So I've done some air dry clay. I've actually coloured some clay with the paints before I used it. So it's not just about cards, and you can start to use the paints for all your scrapbooking and your mixed media. Let me just see if I've got one that's a bit similar. That's dry already, by the way, so that part up here is already dry. That's the other advantage of chalk paints. Oh, look at this gorgeous colour. So I am going to take a little bit of that off, and I'm going to very lightly stipple with the second colour. The other advantage is it doesn't matter whether whether you go dark first or the lighter colour first. It really doesn't matter. And remember, raid your kitchen, because the kitchen scourers will be your best friend with chalk paints. It's instant bonus texture. I have got the fan on in here, so apologies if it's bugging you. The Chalky acrylic paints are one of my all-time favourite products ever. Now you might be thinking, well, we can do that with inks. Yes, you can, but what you don't get with inks is this fabulous velvety finish that you get from the chalk paint. So we're going to pop that to one side and leave that. I know it looks a bit odd like that, but when you put it like this, look, that almost looks like a marbled background now, look. It's fabulous. So we're going to bring the smaller piece in, which is going to be our topper, and we're going to do some stenciling on this. So another top tip, so I already know that the circles are going on here, so there's no point me stenciling the whole area. I'm only going to do a little bit around the outside, and I've got no idea what this stencil's called because I just can't remember. In fact, let's position that. No, I'm going to stick to where it was. So because I did the Malibu Peach first on the background, I'm going to do the Malibu Peach first on this also. And again, I am using these little cheap brushes that we all got from Amazon, and I'm just going to randomly stipple through this. You can be as heavy or as light as you like. Remember, the paints can be watered down, so you can actually colour in stamped images with them. You can do watercolour backgrounds with them. I am going to show you all this on Wednesday, he says. So I'm going to bring that down, try and line that up somewhat. So I've lined it up on there, which means I know that this is right. So you can extend the stencil design. Oops, it's a good job you can line it up. I've not done this for ages, and I love doing it. I'm ashamed of myself because I love doing this. This is crafty. This is taking white cardstock and completely transforming it. So let's just try and line this up. I can see my dot there, look. So when I show you this card at the end, if you stay till the end, you won't believe that it's all chalk paint. All the colour is from these chalky paints, which is really rather marvellous. So line this one up, line that one up, line that one. Can you see, look how it's lined up? So I know that I'm going in the right direction. I am now. Now I am. Scotch about spot in there. I'd have been mad with myself if I'd have got that wrong. So this is a super easy background. I'm going back up to where I started, in with the grey, and we're going to lightly stipple with the grey colour as well. So just line that up as best you can. It won't matter if it's a little bit off. You can do this with your sponges, but I love the bonus texture that you get using the stipple brushes, and this is super easy. Anybody can do this. There's no skill required for this, and you don't need to worry about it staining your stencils either, because it's all water based, so it will wash off. Let's just check. Oh, that's stunning. That's absolutely stunning. I can't tell you what the stencil's called. It will be on the show, but I can't remember what it's called. I'm assuming it's on the show because Karen's done the list for me for this show. Just carrying on. Bear with. Patience is key. I can't see what you're saying to me just yet, but I will catch up with you all in a minute. Dot dot. So I know my 2 dots are there, look. I love that you can move this stencil round and it matches. So whether you like grey or peach, grey and peach together or not, it doesn't really matter. It's the techniques. And this gorgeous stippling that we've got from this is amazing. That looks amazing. Let me just show you that. Look at that. How fabulous is that? And it's so easy to do. So easy to do. So at this stage, before you move on, you can check, look. So nobody would know whether we'd done the whole background or not. Nobody would know. Which is really rather marvellous. And then we're going to move on to the circle next. So I'm not going to worry about that too much. You can obviously mist that with water and take a negative. Shall I try and do it? I don't know whether I've got enough paint on here. Let's just... I was going to splat this, but I can splat one of the others. Let me just add a little bit more paint to the front of this stencil. And then we'll do a negative. We'll do a negative print. It has dried a bit on the stencil, so maybe I should have been a bit quicker with it. But it's nice to see this being done. So it's obviously not going to be a perfect print, but we will get a negative print from this. I am just adding a little bit more paint. Maybe that's too much. A little bit more. Well, let's see if I can get away with that. So let's just mist that. I'm going to do it over here and bring in a different piece of kitchen roll. That was the kitchen roll, not me. So this is our small circle, which is going on top. So just enough water for us to get a negative, to get the paint moving. Can you see? Look, we've reactivated the paint, and I am going to do it stencil down rather than putting the card on top of the stencil. Another bit of kitchen roll. Press that down. And this is the difference between the chalk paints and an ink pad. The finish from the chalk paints is completely different to the finish from an ink pad. Well, it's a bit pale, but we get it. We get it. I could have done with adding a little bit more peach to that. But you can see that, look. Can you see? So we'll put that to one side and let that dry. I should have done it before it dried too much, really. I mean, there's still loads on there. Loads on there still. Leonie would be proud until I do this. So now my stencil is lovely and clean. So's Leonie. Right, carrying on. We're carrying on. So the paints have not been put away yet. So up to now we've done the background. We've done the stippling on the edge. We've just done this watery background. Now look, it's actually drying quite nice. You can just see, there you go, look. So that's obviously where I added more of the paint. So maybe I shouldn't have done that, but it all goes. It all goes. I might not use that, we'll see. We shall see. So now we're going to move on to the 3 little rectangles. So these are from the double pierced rectangles set. So I know that I want to leave 2 of these white. And this is another good tip for you, yeah? So we know this is going to be the top. Let's just get that lined up right. We know this is going to be the top topper. So this is what you're going to see at the top. So we need to just decide which one we want to leave white. So this will show you whether you want to leave 2 white, 1 white, 3 white, emboss 1, or whatever you want to do with them. Now we're going to splat one of these, and I think I'm going to splat 2. I think I'm going to splat the large one and the small one and leave the middle one plain white. So that's another tip for the paints, is to don't be scared of the white space, yeah? Because the white space actually makes the colours pop. And something I have noticed, I was telling my class on Wednesday in Sheffield, I've noticed that people like the white space cards. I tend to get more comments from cards when I've got a more white space showing, which is really interesting. And the trick with the chalk paints is that 100% less is more. Where's that little craft sheet gone? So we're going to splat these, and the paint that I put on here is still from the... Oh, I might need to take some out of the pot now. I'm going to take some out of the pot. It's definitely warm in my room because my brushes are starting to dry already. So the chalk paint in the Malibu Peach, and the same in the Rain Cloud. Now Rain Cloud is obviously a darker colour, so I need to use a little bit less of that. My little splatter brush. So again, tips for splatting. Big box to catch your splats in. In fact, I better just move my other stuff out of that box. This is what was already in my splatter box. So the smaller the brush, the smaller the splatter brush, the easier it is to control it. So we're going small. A couple of sprays of water. Oops. And then mix that up using the stipple brush. So we've now made a chalky watercolour paint. from the paint pots, which will give us a diluted version of the same colour, as you can see. And I'm going to splat both of these at the same time. And I am doing them in both colours, both of them in both colours. I shouldn't have, just be careful of that. So if you're not very confident with splatting, the smaller spaces are easier to control. And splatting is also a really good way to finish off your flower die cuts. So I'm just trying to bang that. That sounded wrong. I'm just trying to hit the brush hard so that I get some big splats on there. Now remember, all that we're doing, all these detail things, will all be subliminal when we put the card together. Let me just see if I've got enough on. I want these quite heavily splattered. Let's have a quick look. Let's have a look. Marvellous. Absolutely marvellous. So we'll pop them back in the box to dry. Excusez-moi. And then the flowers. So whilst I've got this paint here, I'm going to bring in my flowers. So waste not, want not. In fact, let me get a drink and see what you're all saying to me. Sorry everybody, I am at the very end of this virus now, thank God. Nearly choked on your drink because I said... Oh, bless you, Margaret. Yeah, 100% Emma, that's a good idea. Heather, you can get little stickers, so you can get little 1-inch stickers that will fit in these lids. So you can actually paint the sticker and write the name of the colour on. You won't need to soon, Emma, Heather, just saying. I'm just scrolling back. Oh, bless you. Bless you. Right, so flowers. So I'm just going to bring all my flowers in. And I know that I've probably got too many. But I'm going to do all the ones that I've got cut. So we're now going to use these as a watercolour paint. So you maybe have seen me do this before. You've maybe seen me do this with the watercolour blending brush pens. But now we can do it with all our die cuts. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do two-tone flowers. Two-tone flowers. And just make sure I've not missed any. Using the same chalk paints. Oh, that actually looks quite nice now, look. Can you see that, look? The white's really subdued in the background. It looks fab. Oh, anyway, the cheeky bins. So let's just create a bit more paint, a bit more watercolour paint. And we're going to drag these flowers in. So, tips for doing flowers with the paints, if you're going to watercolour them. Use a little bit more water than you would do normally. So more water for this than you would for the splatting, because these colours do dry quite strong. And we're just going to drag this through. So that's really quite watered down now. You can actually see the pigment in these paints. It's amazing. I'm trying to avoid that rain cloud. I don't know why I put it so close. That'll teach me. So we're going to dunk. I'm not trying to cover the whole thing. We are literally just going to dunk. So I'm literally just dunking. Straight into the inky box. Dunk into the inky box. Yeah. And the other advantage of this is that it dries really quick. Missed a bit off that, there you go. So it's actually quicker than you think to dry this. So we're doing the Malibu Peach first. Oops, I've just flicked that all over the place. And we'll leave the Malibu Peach for a couple of minutes. Ooh. Put some paint on it, Phil. And then we'll dunk it in the rain cloud. So what we're doing basically is creating our own colour palette, because you can't buy this colour palette. Well, you can if you've got the paints, but you can't buy flowers and borders and things already made in this colour palette. You just can't. So create your own. I'm pretty sure I've done too many flowers for this, but it'll be fine. I'd rather have too many than not enough. Now when it comes to... I've done it. Sorry. I did it again. I put the clean flour back in. Do you know I've not coughed all bloody day, and as soon as we start doing Facebook I'm coughing. So we're going to leave that for a minute. I am going to clear this up and start again. Now you could obviously in fact, let's just do it. Rather than waste it. The strip for my border, I'm just going to drag it through it. So this is going on my border, so rather than waste it all, let's just pop that in there and let that dry. Let's just let this dry and see what happens. Well, I already know that I'm going to like that. And then clear it up. Waste not, want not. I'm not cleaning my brushes yet because I'm not done with them. I'm just cleaning this up because it's just getting a little bit too messy. I don't do mess. That's as messy as I get. Kitchen roll. I can't remember what the stencil's called, Jackie. Karen will tell you. It's when I did the DL ones to match. Right. Back to the card. So just while we're waiting, we'll start doing a little bit of our layering. We are going to add another colour to one of those leaves. So we're going to start sticking this together now. And this is going on flat. That's not as much glue as you think it is. So which is the... Yeah, we'll have that at the top. So now do you see what I meant about that small border? Just by 2 small layers, we've already started to bring this whole colour palette together. Remember, white space is your friend on these kind of cards. Oh, what's happened to my phone tape? That's how warm it is, look. Even my phone tape's gone. Bendy. I'm not going to tell you what I was just thinking, because it's highly unprofessional and it's not like me. So let's just get this layered up. Remember as well, we've not even scratched the surface with these paints. You've got your grey board, your MDF, which I am going to be showing you on Wednesday. So I've got my border here, and the border is going, I'm not going to trim it down, I'm going to put it on the card and then trim it down. In fact, I might do it. No, I want it hanging over, so I'll do it after. I want it to be edge to edge with the actual card blank. So now the card blank is dry, look, we've got our score line at the back, and we can just fold that back now. So we've now created our 8x8 square card blank, and you can do it as a top fold, which I like, as you know, or you can do it as a side fold. This is why your big dies are just too good. So let's pop this on. If I can find my pokey tool. Here it is. I'm laughing at myself, by the way, just so you know. I am going to put a little bit of glue on. I don't normally on the layers that are going straight onto the card blank, but I'm just going to give myself a little bit of give, so I know that where the stenciling's a little bit fuller at the top, that's where I'm putting this at the top. So now look at this, look against the white background, and all that gorgeous colour is from two paints, two little tiny paint pots. Tiny but small but mighty is what they are. Now I've just got to decide whether I want that on or whether I want this on. So let me just decide. I think I'm going to go white on white. I am going to go white on white. Because that's almost dry. And that one is dry already. Yeah, I'm going to go white on white because I think that is just going to be a bit too much colour. So I'm going to break up that colour with the white embossed piece, but I am going to save that. So this is going on foam tape. The embossing folder I've got on here is the Ornate Circles 3D one. And if you haven't got that, ooh, no, stick to the circles. If you haven't got that one, you should have. So the little trick I showed you last week about chopping down your foam tape. I still can't find my small scissors, by the way. So I've got a feeling I've left them at the studio. So I might need to treat myself to some more. So when you know you need to chop your foam tape down, a little bit of greaseproof paper. I'll do one more strip. A little bit of greaseproof paper. Where's my big scissors? You can tell I've been busy crafting because my craft room is a bomb site. Big scissors. Phil, will you be on the naughty? Yeah, I will be on the naughty step. So I'm just going to snip this down, look. And that's now giving me my own foam pads. Linda, you would be able to do this 100%. So save the bits in case you need to do any more. bits of the greaseproof paper, I mean. So we've chopped it down already, but there's no reason why we can't chop it down again. Look at that. So I'm doing nothing to this embossed piece. This is purely for breaking up the colour and for a little bit of texture. And then once I put this on here, I am going to put the border on. Got to bring the flowers back and add some of the rain cloud. And this time I am definitely putting glue on that, because, you know, with the best will in the world, it's really hard to it's really hard to line circles up first time. I don't know why I'm trying to do that without my pokey tool, but I did. So stand up to do this, and you know what's going around the edge of this. I don't even need to tell you, do I? I'm just gonna, do I need the brushes again? Yeah, I do. I'm just looking at my card. Oops, what's going on with the doodahs? Right. So the border, which is under here, I'm going to bring that strip in. Oh, look how lovely that is now, look. So we've created this fabulous, it's not quite dry that yet, but I think I'll get away with it, will I? Will I? Yes, I will. So where's the darker bit? Because that's the bit I want at the top. So this is just going straight through my little border die, just to break up the whiteness. Stop faffing, Mr. Martin. Oh, that looks so good. Oh, small things make me happy. Depends who you talk to. Right, I am going to snip this down, but I just want to see where I want it. So originally I was going to put this underneath the top circle. In fact, well, do you know what? I might still do that. I might still put it on top. This is how it evolves. This is how it evolves. Yeah, I'm going to do that. So let me just snip off. I want it edge to edge of that. So I'm just going to snip before this little one here. Just before this little one. Yeah, that's perfect. Spot on. Spot on. You can tell I'm in the zone, can't you? Oh, the coffee's gone cold. Surprise, surprise. Right, this is going on first, and then I'm going to pop some Diamond Dazzle around the edges of that. I should have done this on my tape, but I'm just trying to be quicker. I'm not going to tear this because I'm sick of it sticking to my fingers. So just while I'm doing the boring jobs, let's just remind you, where's this thing? Yeah, look. So if you would be so kind, it would be muchly appreciated. So if you're watching on YouTube, you have to give me a thumbs up, which means I don't get anything for it, I don't think. I think it just means it gets seen more widely. And if you're on Facebook, obviously a like and a share would be very much appreciated. Take that off. Right, let's put this on and then get the Diamond Dazzle on first. And then I need to bring the flowers back. I am trying to allow them a little bit longer to dry. In fact, let's just have a look at one. Oh, look how pretty that is. Put this next to some white, look, there you go. How fabulous is that? But we do need to add some rain cloud to that. I think that's one of the, for my personal choice, is I like two colours of the chalk paints together. We are going to bring in a third colour because I'm going to include, well, I'm going to see what it looks like first. A bit of green for one of the foliage dyes. Now I may not go for it, so I'll test it on a small space first. And if I don't like the green with the grey and the peach, I will stick to just grey and peach, which keeps it simple. If you keep it simple with regards to colour palettes. Oh, shall we do a sideways card for a change? No. I'm good at asking rhetorical questions, have you noticed? I'm trying to... Do you know what? Depending on which way you look at it, this folder looks different each time. How clever is that? Let's just make sure that's straight. Straight in the middle. And then we're going to pop the border on. Now I'm going to put the border on with foam tape, which is very risky because I need to put glue gel at the ends. And the only reason I'm doing foam tape is because we've got a lot of work to do with the flowers and everything before, so if I put glue gel on, it's just going to get battered too much. So I'm going to put foam tape on first and then glue gel at the ends. So let me just tell you why I'm doing this, because you might find it useful. So I know that the border's going to go about here, look. So I'll put the foam tape where I know it's going to catch the raised piece of card, yeah? But I'm going to have to put glue gel on there. Now if I stuck that on just like that and left it, you can see, look, that the border is going to kick up, and we don't want that. We don't want no kinky borders. So I am going to pop some glue gel on, which will weigh it down a little bit. So the foam tape will secure it. The foam tape will secure it, but the glue gel will... Oh, can you believe I've just put that on myself? Somebody's just messaged me. But the glue gel will stop it from kicking up. You always know it's warm when the glue gel's misbehaving. That'll do. Frozen on YouTube. Is it still frozen on YouTube? Facebook, I mean. It's not to me. It's good on Facebook for me. So let's just get this on. Tweezers. So I'm going to do this by hand. Let me just make sure I've got it the right way. Top fold card. I'm going to stand up to do this, and I want it just off the circle, and poor bits have been squashed. Oh, that's better. So that glue gel, once it's set, will stop that from kicking up, because we don't want it kinky. You're not going to see a lot of that. How fab is that watercolour border? So now that we're already balancing the colour a little bit. So I may leave all the foliage white to bring in more white to this card. I'm just going to add my glitter to the circle at the bottom. Facebook's okay. Marvellous. So I'm just going to add some, I should have done this first, schoolboy error. You'll notice I'm glittering the bottom circle, not the top one. So it gives me another break between the stenciled background and the embossed circle. And when I say another break, what it means is it's breaking up the rows, the layers. I'm not going to add any glitter to the border. I know, shocking. But I will at the end when I can do it on the ones that are visible. Now everything that I've done so far on this card is super easy to do. Super easy to do. Now if you're new to the paints, or if you've never used anything like it before, you can't really do it wrong. Because if you, for example, the stencil that I've got on there, if you were doing this and you were having a go and you were using the same colours that I've used, and you think, oh, do you know what, I've put too much grey on, I've made it too dark, well then you just leave it to dry. You just leave it to dry and then go over it again with the lighter colour, because you can multiple layer these paints. You can also use them on non-porous surfaces, which I think is really rather marvellous. So let's just pop that to one side. We need to bring in the flowers now, of which there are many. And we're going to give them a swipe in the grey, in the rain cloud. So my brush has probably gone dry. Oh no, it's not too bad. So a little bit more than that, Phil. Less of the rain cloud paint, because it's a stronger pigment. Watered down quite a bit, just so it gives us that little hint of the grey. And I'm just going to daub again. I'm going to daub it in rather than swoosh it. So we're going to just daub, look. Yeah, get a bit at the end. Marvellous. And then by the time we've done all the rest of the foliage, this will be dry enough. This will be dry enough for us to work on. I'm just going to add a little bit more water. Better. So daub. You can see what I'm trying to do. Look, just trying to get a little bit at the ends. It really doesn't matter so much with this. just going to do a few instead of keep bending down. My back's already killing me from all the crafting I've done today. Well, over the last few days. Got a few exciting things coming up for you. So as you know, because Nicola asked me earlier, as you know, we are getting, or you are getting, Beautifully Beaded Series 3 early. So Beautifully Beaded Series 3 will be on the 29th of this month. It's a month early because of the problem our manufacturers got with one of their machines not being able to do part of what would have been released in April. So what it's meant is that I have swapped my April and May releases around. And this will be the end of Beautifully Beaded. Sounds ominous. It's basically, it's going to be the last of it. There won't be any more. This is the beauty of doing series. So I remember when I first released Beautifully Beaded, and I said to you all at the very beginning that there would be three releases, and by the time we'd finished with Beautifully Beaded, you will have a massive collection, well, a big collection of dies that you can mix and match. There are 2 new products for Series 3 that we've not had before, which will finish it really rather nicely. Right, so back to the foliage. I'm going to move that for now, just because we don't need that. So back to the foliage. So I've got quite a bit here. So one of my tips as well when you're practicing your layout, or when you're having a go, so you all know this already. You know that I always have more than one type of foliage. Oh, can't believe that. We're going to have to manage with one less flower. Internally there are lots of swear words going on, but I won't say them. Spitting rain there in New Hampshire. Oh, no, it's not raining here. We've got a beautiful sunset, actually. I can't believe that flower. So, those of you that know me well will know that whenever I do foliage, we always have lots of different sizes. And a personal thing for me is to not use just one foliage die on a card. So you can see here I've got 3. Now I am going to leave these all white with the exception of the little berries there. I'm going to paint those straight on with the peach, yeah? With the Malibu peach. I'm going to make those completely solid Malibu peach. So again, the advantage of, I don't think you can get these anymore, so I'll apologise to you. So the advantage of having the bigger ones is your bigger ones become your focal point. So as soon as I pop those big leaves on, look how it detracts your eye from everything, and it starts to make the background and the border and everything that's in your face, it starts to make it a little bit more in the background. So I am going to glitter these, and I am going to shape these. These are Lush Leaves. If you haven't got my Lush Leaves dies, this is the smaller of the 2. The other one is quite big like this, but it's the perfect one for shaping. Where's my foam mat? Oh, where it is. So this is what I call a proper leaf. This is what my proper leaf is. And we're going to shape this quite hard. So I'm going to shape it quite hard at the ends. Why is that wet? Oh, I've just had the kitchen roll on it. So I'm shaping this just with the ball tool, very hard at the ends, look, to shape it back. But we've got that gorgeous debossing detail in this. If you haven't got lush leaves, you need it in your life. Before, I don't know whether we've got any, genuinely, I've got no idea if we've got any. I can tell you that it's an old one, so if we have, you need to snap it up, because I just won't be having it again. Oh, I can't believe I've just done that. I've literally just thrown my stamping mat on them wet flowers. Ah, sugar. So they might be a bit paler. So now we've got this, we're going to point the ends. So we're going to point the ends. So I've shaped them back before I point the ends. I love doing this with the succulent. This is succulent foliage, sorry, not lush leaves. And I know it's succulent foliage because it's the plumper leaves. So we're making little pinched in tips, look. And I did say tips, Emma. So we've changed the look of these leaves, and where I've got that little well, so the little well that I've created with the pinching of the tips, we're going to glitter. It's the perfect end for these beautiful leaves. In fact, Karen, if you're still yes, you, because I know what you were thinking. In fact, Karen, if you're still watching, will you just have a quick look for me to see if we have got any of the succulent foliage? It's an A5 set. There are 4 leaves in it, 2 big ones, similar size to the big ferns, that you can obviously snip down, but it gives you the big plump leaves. And then the smaller one that I've got here, which is, it's the perfect bedfellow look for the ferns. It's just gorgeous. What's coming after Beautifully Beaded is what you would have got in a couple of weeks, but I'm not telling you because it's really rather special. And I was gutted that we've got to wait for it, but I can't, it's out of my control. So all I'm doing, look, is I'm just dragging my glue along the well, and then I'm going to dip that in the glitter. So this really is another one of those little attention to detail things that I like, and it's what makes us better than the card. There you go, look. So we've got this lovely pointy tip, shaped pointy tip, with the glitter just in the very ends in the well, and it looks fabulous. It looks really, really lovely when it's dried. I'm just going to do the same to this, and I am going to glitter the whole of them ferns. Now I know you're probably looking at the big one thinking, crikey, that's a whopper, Phil. And I'll be truthful, it's been said before. It has been said before, but it's the perfect base for you to chuck it underneath your flowers. So I know that on the small ones we're only going to use about halfway up, but on the large ones I'm using them in their entire. That's a disadvantage of hairy arms, and I did say arms. Oh sugar! Let me just get rid of this glitter because I'm going to use my brush glue on it. I'm absolutely covered in Diamond Dazzle, but it could be worse. I'm trying to behave. Definitely a glittery ring tonight. Glittery everything tonight, I'll tell you. Right, I am using the brush glue for this, but not that one. Not that one. Karen's just told me off. Which is hilarious. Right, so I'm using the brush glue with very, very little very, very little glue on it. In fact, that might be, no, that's perfect. So this is the easiest way to do the ferns, and I am doing the large one in its entirety, and the small ones are just going to be done on the tips because I'm only using them halfway up. And these ferns are from a few years ago, and do you know what, it's one of those things that whenever I'm going through my tub with my foliage dyes in, I'm always like, oh, I need to do some new ferns, because every time I use them people ask me about them, and I won't reorder them because they're from a while ago. And we can let them dry now. So I'm just doing halfway up with the smaller ones. Just remember to take off all the excess glue when you're doing this. You only need a very fine coating. And then just while we allow this to set, we'll paint the berries. So we've now broken up the colour with glitter, and if you're not a fan of glitter, it doesn't matter, you can just leave these plain. But always, whether you use glitter or not, always use more than one foliage. It's just instant interest, and it's super easy to do. So I'm just going to pop these on that mat. We've still got the flowers to do. How am I doing for time? I need to crack on. Just clean that. Oh, nearly spilled that. That would have been fun. I knew this was going to be a long one because I spent 10 minutes talking about layouts at the beginning. So for anybody who joined us later, when the live's finished, do watch from the beginning and you will see me talking a load of waffle about how to start with a layout for your cards, or how I start with a layout for my cards, more to the point. So the flowers are drying nicely. We are going to bring in the Malibu peach paint, and we're going to paint the berries solid colour. So solid colour. So this is not going to be a watered down version. This is the true colour. And I could have sworn I didn't put the brush in the pot. Is this the one I've been using? There it is. Is that it? No. That's the grey, so this must be the peach. So we're going straight on with this. I'll dab it in the lid. So solid colour for this. Oops. I've battered a few berries. This colour is absolutely gorgeous. And again, I am stippling rather than brushing it on. Just because it gives you an even coverage. So I'm not adding any glitter to these. We've got enough glitter now with the background, the circle being glittered around the edges, and with the glitter on the foliage, and obviously there will be some on the flowers when we're finished. I'm going to take this with me for the shows on Wednesday. That was a bit wasteful there. I used far too much. These little pots last a long time. The pigment content is really high. Oh, that's just lush. Absolutely gorgeous. So we'll just move that so they don't stick in the wet part. Move those to one side. I am going to speed craft a little bit now, so forgive me. Bring the card back in. We're going to pop the layers on. So the layers are all going to be raised. And I'm going to do this with glue gel. So we've got 3 rectangles here, one with the one that's plain, one with the, or 2 with the duo splats. I'm going to pop these on with glue gel, just for speed more than anything. I can't say I need any glue gel because, as you know, I found a load in my car or in a bag somewhere, which I might need to go and get some in a minute. So let's put this on first. So we're coming out just off the border, look. So just off the border. Just make sure that's straight. You better do as you're told. Then the next one, so we're splitting out, I am staggering these as we go. So less on the side, a little bit more on this side. You can see how warm it is in my room because my glue gel is misbehaving. Not that I'm complaining about the warmth. So just step that down. And the same with the last one. It's very much scrapbooky in its layout, this. I wonder if I'll get away with... Oh. I was just wondering if I'd get away with just doing one bit down the middle. I might get away with one bit down this side. Let's try that. That's neither use nor ornament. So I've kept the steps at the same, but more or less the same. It's very warm in here. And that's with the fan on. Just bear with me. Okay, right. So put that to one side. So this is where we're at. Put that to one side. Bring the flowers in. And I'm going to quickly shape the flowers. I do have a sentiment to stamp as well. So bring in the flowers. Some of them are still a little bit too damp, so the ones where I obviously added extra water are not quite dry enough. It is a good idea to make sure that the kitchen roll is dry that you put these on. Just make sure I've not missed any. I haven't missed any. I'm not going to blast them. I'm just going to get on with it. You definitely can't see what was on this mat because it's not till August. Taking it off. Right, so I'm going to do the central flower first. Now, the one that I was missing was this size, so I'm going to leave that off. I'm going to leave that off and just make this one a duo. So all the pearls for this card, I might actually use gems for a change. So we're just going to shape these. And remember, my tip for flowers is to just shape the tips. So at the very most, halfway down the petal. You don't need to go all the way to the centre. In fact, sometimes it's to the detriment of your flowers if you go all the way to the centre with the shaping tool. Yeah, that's still quite damp in the middle, so let's just see if I get away with it. So this one would normally have had a third layer. And again, if you know me, you'll know that I always have one large flower, regardless of which corner it's in. And the largest flower usually has an extra layer to the others. So these are for the side. I think I've done them, just see which one I like best. Yeah. Yeah. So these are to the side of that. They are still a little bit damp. Now, I would never recommend you shape your flowers when they're still a little bit damp, because it'll make them a little bit limp, and nobody wants a limp one. So just allow them to dry a little bit longer if you've got that time. It's only because I went back in with the second layer for the rain cloud, and it's so easy to do. And all these little tiny splats and duo colour tones look fabulous when the cards are put together. And then you will understand why we've had white foliage, because although these look lovely, it definitely needs the white space to balance it. So we've got one with two, a 2 and a 2. That's perfect. I've actually ended up with one extra, but it's too small. So the small ones I can't really do much shaping with. So if you're nodding off, if you're bored, I have probably only got about 10 minutes left. Still quite damp though. I think it was the small ones that I chucked my mat on, so it's taken most of the grey off, which is a shame, but it'll be right. It'll be right. And I think I'm going to stick to white pearls rather than gems. Again, the white of the pearls will give us some break between colour. So usual trick, a little bit extra glue so we can push the pearls in, squeeze the glue out from underneath the pearl and dunk it in the diamond dazzle. Now if you were my white pearls, where would you be? So oh, that looks so good. So squeeze it down and you can see what happens. Look, for anybody who's not seen me do this before, the glue's now been pushed out around the pearl. Not that size. So Reardon, I know what you're saying to me. Where is my pickup tool? And she's right, of course. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now the other advantage of using the grey paint means I can use hickory smoke or one of the other grey colours for the sentiment. and it's just a little dinky circular sentiment for this card. Now, just while I'm finishing off these little flowers, I'm going to talk to you again about the paints and why they are so fabulous. If you've never had any of the chalky paints, now remember I do also do metallic paints, but I'm saving the metallic paints for another show for later in the year. I've been desperate to do the masterclass show on Hobby Maker since last year, and this is the first opportunity I've had to be able to do it, so make sure you tune in. Now, a lot of the paint colours we haven't got stock of, so I have put together a special big bundle and some smaller ones in the regular sets. I've just pulled that off, look. I'll show you how to fix that in a minute. That's because it's still damp. I should know better. So don't miss out, because it's not huge volumes for this show, not like when I do dyes. So just prepare yourself. Let me just fix this poor thing. Where there's a will, there's a way. This is why don't shape your flowers when the petals are still damp. So just leave that to dry a minute. Right, here we go. Sentiment next. I can't see what anybody's saying to me. I apologise. I will check later. I did have dragonflies for this card, but I might just put them. Oh no, I'm not. I'm just going to leave them off. So sentiment, hickory smoke, where are you? Lost Shadow's the wrong grey, really. What's the Vertifine one called? Let's see if that's even quicker to find. I've got so many ink pads over here, it's ridiculous. There it is. That'll do. Morning Mist, that'll do. So a little dinky sentiment. This is something else that I've got in the habit of doing. And that's, although the card's large, little dinky sentiments are just perfect on them. Ooh, make today awesome. Let's have that. See if it fits first. Make today awesome. Of course it fits. So this will obviously pick out the grey tones in the paints that we've used in the background. Make today awesome. I might have moved that. We shall see. Yes, I did. Will I get away with that? Will I get away with that? No. But as if by magic, I've got another circle here. That is going straight in the bin. I felt it slip as soon as I felt it slip. As soon as I put it onto the card. That's better. I'll clean that after. So bringing the card back in. We're going to start with the flowers next. So the flowers are going on first. That is really annoying me. Oh, that's better. Give it a good squeeze, that fixed it. So flowers first, so always flowers before the foliage, but I'm only going to put the large flower on first. Little berries. I'm going to put the large flowers on first, and then I'm going to put the ferns in before I add the flowers. And I'll show you why in a second. It will make sense once I've done it. honest, I'm going to get a clean doodah. The flower battery, the comments are coming a bit late on on the app, which is quite funny because I'm reading things that you were saying to me 10 minutes ago. So large flower first, and when we already know from the beginning of the demo, so remember this is exactly how I showed you using the dies. It's exactly the same layout as when I was showing you right at the very beginning of the demo, when I first had the idea to do this layout and we were testing it with the dies. It's exactly the same. So largest flower first, which is going here, look, yeah. In fact, I might go a little bit higher. And this is why I love the large ferns. I'm going to try not to drop this. For a bit more on, just because it's not quite dry. So the flower's going on first, always the flower first. It's still not 100% dry, which will bug me, but we'll put that on first. Then the ferns. So one of the advantages with the ferns is you do get a left facing and a right facing, as you can see, but because they are quite delicate at the ends, you can actually tease them a little bit more, which I quite like. Now the ferns I'm going to put on with white glue. So now my flower's on, I'm going to lift it off, because now I've got my glue gel where it needs to be, look. And the ferns I'm going to have facing out of the card. This is again one of those small details that you may not notice when I'm making my cards. But because we've got two different types of foliage, we're going to have the large fern facing out of the card, and we're going to have the succulent foliage facing in. And because this is quite fragile, look, yeah, it's a bit I'm going to put this on. For anybody who's watching me for the first time, I apologise. I'm like a gremlin. I'm always worse when I've been fed and I've had my dinner. Which is worse. So I've got the fern in there, look, but I'm just going to shape it and put a little bit of glue on the tip. A little bit of glue on the very end, so that I can shape this and glue that down. So I'm using my normal glue for this rather than glue gel. And you can see I've left enough space so the big flower will go back on, and then the next flower will cover up some of that fern, so it's giving us height. I could have come a little bit further out, actually. It's too late now, it's already set. I'm going to do the same with this one. Yeah, flop is the right word. Here we go. I was nearly in the wrong place then. I got distracted by floppy. Oh my word, I apologise. So I've got shaped ferns, look. Can you see? I've just arched the ferns, put the big flower back on. I can't remember what these flowers are called, but I absolutely love them. These are the ones from Floral Finery with... oh, we might just get away with that. I'm going to put that one on first. These are the ones from Floral Finery with the piercing just at the all the way around each petal. So now, because we've got the angle of the fern, we are obviously going to get these a little bit higher, which is a bit of a bonus, look. Oh, that's amazing. Love that. Oh my god, it's 9 o'clock. Who makes round tools? So I'm trying to get these little ones higher, look. And then we're going in with the other foliage now. So now I know exactly where I'm going with this now, look. Yeah, this is going to get tucked right underneath. This one is going on with glue gel. The berries will be the last thing to go on, foliage wise. So we're going to bring this under here. Oh, this is so good. I'm gonna have to, there you go, perfect. I'm going to just remind you not to shape your flowers when they're wet. Take it from somebody who should know better. It's the worst thing to do for your flowers. So now look, can you see how this is coming together just so easily? So easily. So lift the flower up. Is this the one that was broken? Yeah, it is, and I've just made it worse. Sorry. I've just made that poor little flower. Oh, there we go. Fixed it. So bring that in. This is the one that was broken, look, and I've just pulled it off again. Oh, there we go. Sorted. The 3 little flowers are not going on just yet. Remember, we've got 4 of the smaller ferns. So 2 of these smaller ferns are for the top of the card, up here. These 2 here, that one that I've just dropped, we only need a little bit of, and they are for the bottom of this card, just to finish off the space at the bottom. Who'd have thought that this was all just pure white cardstock before we started? This is why the paints are a must-have. You can do what we've just done with ink pads. Of course you can. What you don't get is this lovely velvety texture that you get from the paints. So small ferns at the bottom, look, just to finish off the bottom of that card. I'm covered in glitter and glue gel, but I guess it could be worse. I will read your comments properly, as I always do, once I've made myself a fresh coffee. I'm going to poke that petal on top, and the same with that one, so it looks like that's a little bit higher than it is. It's bugging me a little bit. That's better. And then the little flowers are going at the top on here. The sentiment, remember we've just done a small little circular sentiment. I'm not going to add glitter to it. I'm going to leave it just as it is. Just popping these. Wouldn't you think by now that I'd know to check if I need more glue gel before we start a demo? So these are going off the edge up here. Don't shape wet flowers. Do as I say and not as I do. Because that will annoy me so much. Now these last 2 ferns, I just want a very small amount from the end of them. And I'm going to shape these. So one facing in, one facing out, but they're going underneath here. facing out of the card rather than at the side of the like I normally do. So one going in, one going out. Nearly done. I promise you I'm nearly done. One going in, one going out, just for a change. The sentiment's going up here. In fact, I'll put that on now so I don't use the space. So I don't get tempted to use the space. No glitter on the sentiment. Make today awesome. And then the very last thing is these fabulous berries that you can't get anymore. But I might be helping you with that soon. So we've got a left facing, a right facing, and an extra one. Left facing, right facing. So this is going under here. And this will now bring in a little bit of extra colour around where all the flowers are, and you will see, as soon as I put this down, you will see the difference between colouring in direct with the paint. Look at the difference in colour, look, watered down and direct. I'm nearly done. We're on the last bit. Oh, come on, come on, come on. Come on. I've just buried that fern. There it is. And then the very last one, actually I'm going to leave it home. I was just going to snip it down, but I'm not. I'm going to leave it home. No glitter on this. It's a surgical operation. I'm trying to be delicate with these flowers because I know they're not dry. And we are done. We are finito. And there we go. I'm just going to wipe my hands and I'll bring this in for you to see it properly. And remember, this was all pure white cardstock. The only colour on this card is from these two little paint pots. Everything else is white cardstock. How fabulous is that? And you know what? It's super easy to do. It's super easy to do. Time consuming, yes, because I've done a lot. But obviously, if I'd have not spent 10-15 minutes at the beginning talking about layouts, etc., we would have been done a little bit earlier. So clean some of this mess up. It's going to be fun cleaning this desk tomorrow. Here we go. So remember, this is a proper card. We've made the card blank using the double pierced square dies. The two colours of paint that I've used are Malibu Peach and Rain Cloud. Malibu Peach and Rain Cloud. I've got no idea which set they're from, or sets. And And then there we go. So we've got, it's actually not bad for me depth wise. So we've got the stippled background with the paints direct. We've got stippled through the stencil with the 2 paints to give us the variegated look. We've got splatting with the 2 paints. Where's the quick tool? Splatting with the 2 paints. We've separated the colour with the white. Same with here. We've got the embossed piece with the regular double pierced circle, white and white. It was the right thing to do. And then we've got 2 different types of foliage. I'm just going to bend that a bit. 2 different types of foliage. Watercoloured flowers with the 2 colours. Very watered down, remember. Yeah. And there we go. Super easy to do. Just takes a bit of time. So I hope you found that useful. You know I love doing cards from scratch like this. It's my thing. It's my comfort zone. So I hope you've found it useful and you've learned something. For those of you who are watching later, remember to, I'm going to zoom that in just while I'm talking. Remember to rewind the video and watch it from the beginning, because I do talk to you about how to work the layouts out. Who would have thought that using squares, circles and rectangles would look so good? But it does. It's super easy. And again, this could be adapted to a rectangular card very easily. So I'm going to love you and leave you. So let's just remind everybody, if you are not yet in our Facebook group, you can request to join there. Search on Facebook for Crafting with Phill Martin and Sentimentally Yours. Please do remember to answer the 3 little questions. People are still trying to join the group without answering the questions. It's just how long have you been crafting, that kind of thing. It will automatically decline your request if you do not answer the questions. So search on Facebook, Crafting with Phill Martin and Sentimentally Yours, and get yourself in our Facebook group. If you haven't yet, please do make sure you've subscribed to the YouTube channel. And there is the address. If you're already on YouTube, make sure you subscribe and make sure you've given me a thumbs up, please. The more the merrier. Our Facebook page, as ever, is Sentimentally Yours. Our shop Facebook page is Honeypot Crafts. Our Instagram, or my Instagram, is Phill M Martin. And my TikTok is the same. And remember, Wednesday's shows on Hobby Maker are a chalk paint masterclass, so I will be showing you even more than what I've showed you tonight, to be honest. But there you go. So very easy to do. I will endeavour to take a photograph of this for you in the morning once it's all set and the flowers don't look so dishevelled. So thank you very much, everybody. Enjoy the rest of your evening, and I will see you on your telly box on Wednesday.